Hello, this is a documentary on Kurt Vonnegut Jr. Kurt Vonnegut was born on November 11, 1922, into a third-generation German family. His father and grandfather were both renowned architects that attended the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Vonnegut graduated from Shortridge High School in Indianapolis in May of 1940 and attended Cornell University that fall, where he wrote for the school newspapers. This is where his passion for writing was first shown. On Mother's Day in 1944, when Vonnegut was 21, his mother committed suicide with sleeping pills. Kurt Vonnegut's experiences as a soldier and prisoner of war had a profound influence on his later work. As a private in the 423rd Infantry Regiment and 106th Infantry Division, Vonnegut was captured during the Battle of the Bulge on December 19, 1944. After the 106th was cut off from the rest of Courtney Hodges' First Army, while a prisoner, he witnessed the firebombing of Dresden in February of 1945, which destroyed most of the city. Vonnegut was one of a group of American prisoners who survived the attack in an underground meat locker. This experience was an inspiration for him in his writing of the famous novel Slaughterhouse-Five. Vonnegut was liberated by Red Army troops in May of 1945. Upon returning to America, he was awarded a Purple Heart for what he called a irrecoverable wound. After the war, he married his high school sweetheart, Mary Jane Cox, and attended the University of Chicago as a graduate student in anthropology, and also worked at the City News Bureau of Chicago. After the war, he had many jobs. He worked as a technical writer and was known for working long past his hours. After GE, he moved his family to Cape Cod to fully start his writing career to support his large family. His first novel, Piano Player, took place in the future, in a society that was run by machines, eliminating the need for human laborers. This widespread mechanization creates conflict between all social classes, which leads up to the main plot of the book. His next novel, Sirens of Titan, he talks about the purpose of human life on Earth. After this, he received the Guggenheim Fellowship in 1967 for his magnificent works in English literature. His next novel, Slaughterhouse-Five, which was considered to be one of his best, takes into the accounts of Vonnegut's experiences in World War II as a POW, in which you see it through the eyes of the made-up character Billy Pilgrim. Vonnegut then taught creative writing at Harvard. While in New York, one of his plays, Happy Birthday, Wanda June, played on Broadway for a period of time. Vonnegut's son experienced a schizophrenic breakdown in 1972, and it affected Vonnegut a lot because he did not want to lose another family member after he had suffered a lot in the past years. However, he caught a huge break when Slaughterhouse-Five became a movie in 1972. It became an instant hit with the public, and it gave Vonnegut a chance to reach out to all sorts of people. His next novel, Breakfast of Champions, centered around two main characters, Kilgore Trout and Dwayne Hoover, and the events that led up to their meeting, this being one of Vonnegut's more humorous books. After his book was published, he served at the University of New York for a brief period of time as a professor. However, this job did not last long, as many of his previous jobs. He only worked there for a few months. After this, he divorced his first wife, in which they had 3 children together, and he married Jill Kremitz, who was also a writer. He then went back to Indiana, where he was acknowledged by the Indiana Historical Society as a living legend, and he was also inducted to the Shortridge High School Hall of Fame. At this time, Vonnegut had lost his mom, dad, sister, and brother-in-law. He suffered from depression and tried to kill himself with alcohol and sleeping pills. Luckily, he failed to take his life. Upon returning home from the hospital, he suffered more heartache when his townhome caught fire. He was hospitalized and sent home after a few days again. His final piece of work, called A Man Without a Country, talked about America in general and how it affected society. Then, on April 11, 2007, he died from head trauma he suffered from falling down the stairs. He was 84 years old.